All right, Tommy. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well. Staying busy here.
Yeah.
Summer's just zipping by. Holy Hannah.
Well, that's one of the ones I have on the dock.
Yeah.
Welcome to Take a Breath with Joe and Tom. What is today's date? It is Wednesday,
19.
July 19th. Well into the summer. Lots to talk about. Tommy, do you I'll start. I'll start with the doc,
All right.
okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Um, you wanted me to write to add this to the doc, and it's basically one of Joey's old tales, little nuggets to something to learn, something to live by. But the item was who's to say what's good and what's bad.
Right.
And the story goes is I forget where the origin of the story is and what place, but let's just long time ago. There was a guy who owned a farm. He had a family, and he was in his town thought of as a rich man. He had a horse, and the horse one day ran away, and everybody in town, went to the old man, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You were it. You had the horse, and it ran away. That's terrible." And the guy's like, "You know what? Who's to say what's good and what's bad?" And then the next day, the horse returned with another horse, and everyone's like, "Oh my God." You were the rich man in the town. Now you're doubly rich. That's amazing. And the guy's answer was, "Who's to say what's good and what's bad?" The next day, his son got on the horse. One of his sons got on one of the horses and fell off the horse and got very hurt. Was laid up in bed, broke his back, and everyone in town's like, "Oh my God, this is a tragedy." And the guy said, "You know what? Who's to say what's good and what's bad?" The next day, the military showed up, rounding up young men to fight in a war, and they didn't want they were going to take the son, but they were like, "Oh my God, he broke his back, he's in bed." So everyone in town was like, "That's so lucky." And the old man, not the old, he wasn't old. He goes, "Hey, you know what? Who's to say what's good and what's bad?" The point of the story is this goes on forever.
Right.
Things happen. You may perceive them in the moment as being good and bad, and but the truth is life goes on. What's good can turn into bad. What's bad can turn into good.
Love that story. And just so our audience knows, Joey has told me that story many times to talk me off the ledge.
Yeah.
I'll call him up. Oh my gosh, this happened, or this, I'm inside of this fire. And he'll say, "Hey, let me tell you a story." And he'll start by telling me this story. And it just helps put things in perspective. Because when things do go wrong, you pull out first of all, what is good and what's bad is an unknown. But when something does go bad, you pull things out of there to strengthen your growth and to then turn it around to make things better and good. But it's just a neat story to remember. The missiles aren't always coming in, and who's to say what's good and what's bad? So
Well,
thanks for that story.
yeah, and the truth is the same when good things happen to us. We
Right.
we say it too.
Yeah. Don't
It's
get
not.
too
Don't get up. Don't get too down. You're never as good as your numbers. You're never as
check,
bad as
ego check, ego check, ego check. Yeah. So you gotta,
Absolutely.
and the universe always does humble us. I mean, as soon as we're on fire, we're doing well, boom, something
Something
smacks you down.
happens, and
As soon as
vice versa.
Yeah. If you're staying the course and you're doing the right things and you're still having tough days and all that, the universe answers you and it'll come back to you. And as long as you're staying the course, keeping your message clear and just doing it, things will just all balance out. It'll all balance itself out. Yeah. And speaking of balance,
Yeah.